By Arkansas, for Arkansas. This is Inside Arkansas Live.
And welcome into Inside Arkansas Live here on this beautiful day here in the great state of Arkansas. I'm your host, John Neighbors, alongside Curtis Wilkerson and Andrew Ellis, and appreciate each and every one of you for making us a part of your afternoon this afternoon. Definitely a unique show here on this Friday, because it is Friday, even though a lot of us have had the past 2 days off, or at least yesterday for Christmas, which hopefully everybody had a Merry Christmas, but got a Friday show, and then we head right into the weekend. And in case you haven't noticed, it is hot as balls outside for Christmas here in the state of Arkansas. So all types of weird vibes going on, but that's okay. That's why you come in and tune into us each and every day here on Inside Arkansas. But fellas, it's Friday. It's warm outside. Hope you had a Merry Christmas, but how are the vibes here on this unique day?
They're pretty good, man, all things considered. Yeah, it's very hot in Fayetteville. It's crazy. I know that's getting ready to change in a hurry, I guess, during the day on Sunday. Not necessarily looking forward to that, but whatever. It's wintertime. Yeah, it was nuts, man. It's bright and sunny outside. I was like, I'm just kind of thinking up the pot at the palace for tomorrow. I'm just gonna go walk around the neighborhood, get some sun, put down some notes, whatever. I walk around the corner of one of the blocks here, and I just see this chick walk out her door in a bikini, full on bikini. I was like, okay, that's odd. And then next thing I know, there's a dude right behind her, shirt off, skies out, thighs out situation. They're sunbathing in their front yard on December 26th. And you know what? I respect it, man. Do it while you can. In a couple days, you're not going to be able to. Is this the warmest Christmas in Fayetteville history? I'm sure they talked about it on the Weather Channel. I have no idea, but it's crazy out there, man.
Well, it kind of defeats the purpose. Like, with Christmas, a lot of times what's cool about having sports on or having things go on, there's usually some NBA, some NFL, whatever's going on. It's nice because it's an indoor time. You're inside with your family. You're fighting the elements. It kind of defeats the purpose. And so I don't know. There might not be people watching the show today. They might be out sunbathing like your neighbor, Curtis, or they might be, at the lake with the fam. I don't know, but we're going to have a good time nonetheless. And I thought about it because I already see people being like, man, y'all working on the day after Christmas? Like, y'all doing a show? Like, what's going on? We are such an integral part of you guys' everyday lives that it would almost be like a crime if we didn't do anything all week, right? Because, you spend every day with us. You might as well spend the holidays with us, right?
Yeah, 3 straight days without Inside Arkansas Live during the week, we can't have that. Like, it's going to throw everybody's groove off and everything. But, it's funny because first off, I was really pissed off. I love to buy like a new Christmas sweater or two each year and just wear it. I almost passed out on Christmas Eve because it was just so warm. I'm like, I can't do this. I can't even wear the Santa hat. So I had to get rid of that. And it is very strange. But yeah, listen, it was me and Curtis were kind of talking before the show started, Andrew, of like, I was thankful that nothing really happened for Arkansas, like over the holiday. It was just nice to, of course we were always on top of it. And, if something did happen, we'd be right there for it. But it was just kind of nice to not have a Courtney Crutchfield commit type of thing happen. It was just nice to kind of get away and spend some time with family. And I know the weather wasn't Christmas-like, but I'll tell you this, guys, I would rather have this warm, unorthodox weather than that weather that's like cold and rainy at 37 degrees and gross.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, I know, but at least on Christmas, it's like, because kids could get outside and like, imagine if we were kids and like we had some stuff that was like a trampoline we got for Christmas. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh, hey, you got a trampoline. It's 40 degrees outside and it's not that fun. But on this type of Christmas day, I feel like it would be fun as a kid to go out there and actually be able to enjoy the weather and play with all your new toys and everything. So I think the kids must have probably loved the warm weather here on Christmas.
That's a really, really good point. Yeah, a bunch of kids get like bicycles for Christmas or whatever. Yeah. Doesn't do you any good if it's snowy and icy and gross and weird outside. But yeah, they can get out and about and have some fun with it. The trampoline's a good one. You get that a lot. I've thought about this. When you become a father, you start to think about like a timeline of, okay, when can Wesley get the first this, the first that, whatever. And you think about, okay, is it better for a birthday gift or a Christmas gift? Because some of these things are really cool on Christmas, but like you said, they're outdoors. You can't even set them up and put them up. It's like you have to wait months to use them. Is that really the cool kind of Christmas gift that you want? So yeah, from that standpoint, this is cool. Hope they soak it up over the course of the weekend. And then, batten down the hatchets, go get your milk and water or whatever. I guess it's just going to get cold, but still, it feels like Armageddon coming, considering it's going to be like a 60-degree swing in weather here.
Yeah, it was awesome. One of my oldest, well, not my oldest nephew, my second oldest nephew got a phone for the first time. So maybe he will be inside enjoying that. But all my other nephews and nieces got electric scooters. We set up a trampoline for one of our nephews on Hillary's side of the family yesterday. That was awesome. Setting up a trampoline sucks. Let me just say that. Like, it's not a fun situation no matter what, but it always feels good afterwards, you know? And then when you get to see the kids play on the trampoline, you're like, dang, you know, that was good work. And this one wasn't even a big one, but we got to put one of those together. And so, yeah, it is nice to see the folks outside doing their thing. But, yeah, for us, we're just in here grinding, being indoor grifters like always.
That's right. That's right. Giving you all the latest and greatest and craziest Razorback news that's going on in the world of sports, which hasn't really been much, as we mentioned, the past couple of days. Do have Razorback basketball on Monday against James Madison, which will be the final non-conference game before you get geared up for SEC play. So that will be pretty exciting. But I guess the big news, guys, biggest news we got, AJ Green's in the portal. So, I mean, that just happened before we went live here. And I saw that, and, you know, it was a cool story potentially that could have happened. Him coming back to Arkansas, you know, going the whole Jimmy Witt route, starting his career at Arkansas, maybe finishing his career at Arkansas. Well, he's not finished yet. But, you know, it's not to say that's like, oh, haha, this is a joke, because, you know, hey, what's whatever. But I don't know. I was really hoping that maybe there could have been something a little bit more there than a guy that just ended with 3 carries for 11 yards, where his longest carry was for 12 yards. How math is crazy, but all against Alabama A&M. So that's pretty much it where we're at right now, guys. That's the news is for Arkansas, at least on the portal side of things, is AJ Green's in the portal. Wish him nothing but the best of luck.
Dang, I didn't realize it was the Alabama A&M game. So it was like the whole year without much going on. It was cool that he was able to come back, especially considering he was coming off of a really nasty injury. You know, like it was one of those deals that could have just ended his playing career altogether. So he got to run it back where he started and everything. And that was cool. And now if he's healthy and he wants an opportunity to play and contribute, he might have to get that red shirt year or something. I'm trying to think about the math here. But good on him, man. I wish him luck. I hope he goes and finds a place where he can get some carries and some touches and contribute and everything. But it's interesting when you play at a place twice and you transfer out of a place twice. But I kind of get it in this situation. You know what I mean? It's like no hard feelings. And I'm with you, man. Best of luck to him moving forward.
He didn't want to play for, I guess when he committed to Arkansas, Sam Pittman was not the head coach. Like, he committed to a different coaching staff. Maybe not. It was right around that same time, but his first year of college was also Sam Pittman's, I guess, maybe second year. And so, yeah, I guess maybe just like the third coaching staff. He was like, you know what? I've committed to 2. I can't commit to a third one. But no, in all seriousness, AJ Green, like, always been like a very pleasant individual. Like, I have nothing, obviously on the field is what it is, but like I've never heard a bad word about AJ Green off the field of, you know, locker room guy that's pouting or whatever. And if you remember early in his career at Arkansas, there was a case to be made that he could have gotten more carries. And there were many fans who were like, hey, this guy should get more playing time. You never heard any of that from AJ Green. You never heard him pouting or moaning or whatever. I'm glad he got to come back, and, you know, it didn't go the way that he maybe thought it would, but it is what it is. Like you mentioned, Curtis, the injury that he suffered at Oklahoma State was a pretty bad one. That could have set him back. And so the fact that he's even playing college football, I just like that we're in a state of the world where college football athletes can be past their primes. We've now reached a new era in college football where guys can be old enough to where they are like past their physical primes while they're still playing college football. I hope he's able to find some type of situation, whether it's a smaller school, group of 5, whatever, where he's able to have one last little go at college football, because he was fun to watch when he was, back in his first couple years at Arkansas.
Yeah, just I look back, I was like, man, I remember thinking that running back group that was just young and like, oh man, this is the next coming, where you had Dominic Johnson and Rocket Sanders and AJ Green, and it was like, oh man, here we go. Like this is the future. And then 2 of them just had perennial injuries and never could see fields. And then Rocket didn't. I mean, I guess he had a decent deal over there at South Carolina, but just, I don't know, just makes you, it's crazy just to think back from 2021 to where you're at now with those guys and how much potential that was there, part of that running back group. It's not there anymore. So, but like I said, wish him the best of luck. I don't know where he's going to go, but he's from Tulsa, so we know he went the Oklahoma State route. Maybe he goes back to Oklahoma State. You know, maybe they got a new coach over there, so maybe makes another full circle. Who really knows at this point in time? So, but there'll be some other things. Yeah, there'll be some other things we talk about here. But I want to remind everybody that we have a real estate expert here on Inside Arkansas, and of course is our friend of Gracie Frizzell of Collier and Associates. Yeah, she's officially licensed in both Arkansas and in Oklahoma, and Gracie is here to take care of each and every one of your real estate needs. It doesn't matter if it's an investment property, a game day getaway that you're trying to find whenever you come to Northwest Arkansas for Razorback games, whether it's land investment or just simply a new home. Gracie is going to be your trusted guide from start to finish, and she's the best in the business to do it. So give her a call or text today at 501-690-3868. That's 501-690-3868 for questions on all things real estate, or you can check out our Instagram at Gracie Frizz. It's Gracie Frizzell of Collier and Associates, the official real estate expert of Inside Arkansas. But dealing with some non-Razorback news, but still some significant news. How about the whole thing with now Michigan apparently has their head coach, and it's Kyle Whittingham. Why not? The guy that's literally stepped down from Utah after 3 or 4 decades of what it seemed like him as the head coach over there, like the guy that would always have his name thrown around for a major job over the past 10, 15 years. But everyone be like, yeah, but man, he's staying there at Utah. He's a Utah guy. And then looks like he retires. And it's like, oh, what a great career. And then you see that report. It's like, well, actually, he's maybe not retiring. He's still looking. It's like, oh, okay, that's weird. And then now he's Michigan's head coach. Okay, sure. Just add it to the list of the most chaotic and craziest college football coaching carousel offseason in the entire history of the world.
Yeah, that's a really interesting deal. I kind of like the fit, weirdly enough. I know he's older, so yeah, I don't know how long he's going to be there or whatever, but I don't know. I'm just thinking about like a program that kind of needs some stability, an adult in the room, somebody who's going to do things the right way and has had a lot of success. Then I guess it kind of makes some sense. I wonder about it from an Arkansas standpoint. You mentioned the way he left Utah. Weird, I guess, but they kind of had the coach in waiting situation. Well, now if he winds up at Michigan, does the coach in waiting just keep all the players? Does he poach a couple dudes from his old school? What is that part of it going to look like? But good for Michigan. It's kind of crazy how, went into this, and it was just like every other coaching search where you started to hear all those big names right away. Well, they're just going to get DeBoer from Alabama. And then you heard the usual suspects in the next tier of, like Eli Drinkwitz or whatever. Nothing happened there. It seems like every one of these, programs outside of, like LSU and Lane Kiffin wound up in their second tier of candidates. And Whittingham would be, I think, a pretty decent hire for him, honestly.
Yeah, in a nutshell, I mean, Michigan is the type of job where I don't think you have to be this forward-thinking savant to have success as the head football coach at Michigan. I think if you just kind of cross all your T's and dot all your I's, you should be able to have at least a 9-3 type of football team with the way that the program is, the resources, the history, yada, yada, yada. So Kyle Whittingham, I imagine, is going to have some success at Michigan. I do think it's very interesting, one, like his motivation here, because I think when he retired from Utah, I mean, who knows? Maybe in that moment he secretly knew he was coming back all along, but I just wonder how you get from that place of, hey, I'm not going to coach, to, all right, I'm going to take this job here. The Michigan job is one of those jobs that, frankly, even if you weren't planning on it, you have to listen and you have to take it seriously. But I do think that's I'm kind of squatting on this theory here, guys, that this might go really poorly. Maybe. I don't know that for sure because I have no idea. I would like to hear. But like you mentioned, the coaching staff, I can't imagine he's going to be able to get all of those guys to join him. So I don't want, what is his staff going to look like? How is he going to go about that? What is that going to look like? Can he take some of those players from Utah? Does Kyle Whittingham even care? Is he just kind of cashing a check and being like, you know what? I was kind of content to call it a day, but they're going to give me $12 million. I might as well do it. And so there's a lot of factors here that make this very interesting. But at the end of the day, Kyle Whittingham is like the picture of stability in college football. He is like the picture of consistency and giving you a high floor. So at a place like Michigan, I could see that going pretty well. And so I'm fascinated by the situation. And I honestly will be like, I want to listen to his like first press conference to just hear, how did this come about? Where were you at mentally when you retired? Were you really retired? Were you forced out at Utah? All these things are very interesting to me.
And the program is in shambles or whatever in a way, but like the on-field product was still good. They went 9-3. They got the Underwood kid, who's the highly, highly touted true freshman quarterback. That's the biggest thing for Whittingham here, right? Like, can you retain Underwood or not? Because if you don't, that's a tough look right there. But if you can, you automatically have a higher floor. So I don't know, man. It's going to be pretty interesting to see how it works out.
Well, real quick, Andrew, what year were you born?
97.
Okay, so he was at Utah since 1994. Like that just shows you like how long he was there. Because we knew he was the head coach starting in 2005. He became the defensive line coach at Utah in 1994. And then in 95, 96 was the DC safeties coach. Then in 97, the DC linebacker coach. 98 to 2000, DC safeties coach. 01 to 04, DC linebacker coach under Urban Meyer. And then 05 was the head coach. So you're talking about a guy that's been at one school longer than Andrew's been alive. Like that's
crazy.
Like that's just unheard of. And that's why I think it's so shocking of like, because again, if I'm Michigan, this is about as good as you could ever ask given the circumstances. I mean, this is incredible. He's a phenomenal coach. And not only when he was doing at Utah, but if you think about it, he was part of 3 different conferences while at Utah. He was part of the Mountain West Conference, and he was part of the Pac-12 Conference. He's part of the Big 12 Conference, and each and every conference he found ways to win. So he's 66 years old. So I know that's a little up there in years, but yeah, if I'm Michigan, I'm pretty happy about it. You mentioned the players that he's got to keep and how important that is. But if you're a Utah fan, and I don't know if we have a lot of them, but like, are we like if you're a Utah fan, are you pissed by this? Like you're like, dude, or are you like, hey, you were here for 30 plus years, it's time to maybe make a change?
I saw someone in the chat that said he got pushed out at Utah. Maybe that's true, maybe it's not. I'm not up to speed on all my Utah happenings behind the scenes or whatever, but yeah, I just don't know. And it's such a weird deal because I guess he didn't, if I remember this correctly, he didn't say, hey, I'm retiring. He just kind of stepped down. They elevated the next guy, but it was pretty quick where I felt like he was like, no, I'm here, like I'm a free agent or whatever. Just a strange situation, man. And this would have made more sense to me this time a year ago, because Utah had been so good for so long, and they had a really down year for their standards, and they're like, all right, time to turn the page or whatever. But they had this pretty much a bounce back season. They were fairly close to getting the playoff, I guess. And for that to happen now, and then you wind up at Michigan, I don't know if I'd be pissed about it if I was a Utah fan, but I'd definitely be like, yo, I've got some questions about what's going on here.
I think regardless of whether or not it's true that he was forced out or that they kind of were pushing him out the door, even if it's not true, I think if you're a Utah fan, that's what you have to tell yourself is that, hey, we had this geriatric coach who was past his prime and he served us well, and so we respect him. But really, it was the staff and the stuff that he had already built that was making the program go. It wasn't him. He really was just kind of there, but for the last few years. That's the mentality you have to and whatever the new guy is, that it's the DC, right, that now is the head coach at Utah.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think if you're a Utah fan, that's what you're telling yourself is, hey, this DC, the last 5 or 6 years, he was really the secret sauce. And he had, by the way, that DC had also, I think he had been there since like 05 or something like that. Like he had been there forever. Wow. So I think you can talk yourself into that and then say, yeah, this old guy's going to suck at Michigan. And, this is going to be how it goes or whatever. But yeah, this is fascinating because like I said, I can't wait to see what staff he puts together. By the way, I saw a tweet that was like, Michigan fan, and this was 6 days ago. They said, when you're a Michigan fan and ask for Kenny Dillingham for Christmas, but Santa is hard of hearing. And it was just a picture of Kyle Whittingham.
Yeah, that's pretty good, man. I saw somebody said that he's 66 years old, but he's a Rick Pitino 66. Yes. And I was like, I understand the comparison you're trying to make there, but careful with the Pitino comps,
Uh-oh. Hickory Hog with a great comment here says Utah should talk to BBN. See how it went for them pushing out their 15-year head coach and him landing on his feet at a better job.
It's about to say,
there you go.
Spread the message there and see what the reaction is.
It's words, is that mine?
Is that Santa Elmer in the pick there? I think it was.
I hope so. Yeah, he's a great Santa. But I guess it's another good thing too for Michigan since they fired their coach for the cause. It's not like they owe any buyouts or anything like that. So Whittingham was making $6.5 million at Utah per year. So I'm sure he'll get a little bit of a bump for that. And again, it's just I would love to go back in time before the season started, guys, and just be like, all right, here are the coaches of these major schools, and then be like, now at the end of the season, before the end of the year, here are where these coaches and here's who's going to be the head coaches at these schools. And it would just been insanity to think, hey, Lane Kiffin's going to be at LSU, and you got James Franklin over at Virginia Tech, and you got Ryan Silverfield at Arkansas. You got just the crazy madness that it is. And Kyle Whittingham's going to Michigan. How about that? Throw that into the mix. It just is. It's been insane. It's been absolutely insane. So But we'll see how it plays out for him. And I'm sure, he'll be, like you said, Andrew, I'll be interested to see what his press conference is like and what, because this is also a non-Michigan man. He's not a Michigan man. So that's what they've always been about with Harbaugh or even like Brady Hoke or whatever. It's like the last non-Michigan man they hired was Rich Rodriguez, and we saw what happened there. So could be something like this. Is it
going to be a bad culture fit because he's a man of character and discipline and all that? It's like that. That's not really a fit for Michigan.
It's not what we do here. Yeah.
yeah. We don't appreciate that type of thing. So we'll continue the conversation here on the show. But I want to remind everybody the Blue Ember Smokehouse is one of our great sponsors here at Inside Arkansas. Always talking to our guy Peyton. He's an awesome dude and really appreciate him and his support because I know a lot of people were hitting them up whenever it came to whether the Thanksgiving or Christmas feasts that they were putting together. They had the great smoke beats over there and handcrafted barbecue from Blue Ember Smokehouse helping them out. But the great thing about it is too, folks, is that they're still going to continue to do caterings. They're still going to have events. They have little private rooms that you can have your meetings or any sort of events there as well. And we here at Inside Arkansas Live are going to be there. That's right. The very first Wednesday of January, which is January 7th. It's kind of a weird thing. It's January 1st is on to Thursday, but January 7th, we're going to be live from Blue Ember Smokehouse up in Rogers. So be sure to come hang out with us as we'll be up there. But it's an awesome spot with some great barbecue, some great people. You won't be disappointed. It'll be blown away by some of the great foods that they have over there. And again, if you ever need any catering or anything like that, they're going to have you covered. So give a call over to any of their 6 locations here in the state of Arkansas, whether it's Fort Smith, Jonesboro, Texarkana, Little Rock, Hot Springs, or Rogers. Phone numbers listed right there on your screen. It's Blue Ember Smokehouse here in Arkansas. So, guys, I guess if you want to call this a little bit of something, okay. And I'm not trying to call out anybody, but this is coming from Football Scoop. I think Football Scoop was one of the ones that, were they the ones that reported the rushing hire or like the report, or was that somebody else? I really get it mixed up when when that was reported. TJ Rusher, is it Rusher or rushing? I can't remember. It's hard to keep
rushing.
Up with.
They might have been.
Okay. But I said, I'm not calling him out, but it's just something where it's like, all right, we'll see. But either way, this is being reported by John Bryce just from an hour ago. It says, I love how this is worded. With expanded resources and additional financial capabilities committed to his program, new Arkansas coach Ryan Silverfield is working to make another significant addition to his inaugural Razorback football staff. Sources tell Football Scoop that Arkansas and Silverfield are targeting Dakota Tillman. Yeah? Huh? If you don't know who he is, he's Butch Jones' special teams coordinator at Arkansas State. So just like, the reason I brought it up, it just made me laugh. But it says like Tillman's climb and coaching has been a quick one. He was special teams quality coach for Butch Jones in 2023, 2024. He's special teams coordinator. Anyways, it doesn't matter. But I was just laughing. I was like sitting there like, oh man, wow, they've added a really big addition because the financial capabilities. It's like, oh yeah, it's a special teams coordinator from Arkansas State, which he's not going to be a full-time coach, or at least not to that stretch. Yeah. We got our man, Chad Lunsford over there. But either way, just passing along the news of another addition. It looks to be at least an in-state guy coming over from Arkansas State to Arkansas. Maybe
he's, I don't know. They've got those lists sometimes. It's like the top 40 under 40 or something. I don't know. Is he on that or something? Not a shot at Dakota Tillman. I don't know anything about him. Are we just, adding coaches to Adam at this point? You know what I mean? It's like, hey, we got to prove that we've got, money to spend in our staff pool here. So let's get another special teams coach. They've had some struggles on special teams in the past. I think you got a pretty good coordinator. I'm assuming that this guy will help with that. I don't know what else he does in terms of coaching, but yeah, whatever. I mean, I hope we don't get into a situation where there are like too many voices in the room. Because, I mean, good grief. I don't know how much a normal SEC staff has by way of volume with folks in there, but it seems like Arkansas's got a ton. Didn't they add another offensive line person like last week or earlier in the week? I don't know if we even talked about it. It's just one after another, after another, after another. I love having the resources. I love having some fresh faces. I'm just going to be interested to see how this works. We're going to have to get like one of those organizational charts, like the family tree and the totem pole of the Arkansas coaching staff to figure out who does what, who answers to who you should listen to above somebody else. It's going to be kind of wild. I guess it's a good problem to have when you were so limited a year ago.
Yeah, if I assign you a really, really tough job that's going to take multiple years to do, and you say, hey, I got to get a task force together, it's not really my place to be like, hey, no, you can't hire this guy if you're a task force. It's like whoever you need to get the job done, bring them in. I'll help you bring them in. I'll even, we can do whatever we got to do. And I do think back to Hunter Yurchek's comments about the support staff being top half of the league and all that. And we looked at the OC and DC salaries and maybe some of the top position coaches, and we were like, I don't know if this is going to be top half of the SEC. Well, if you hire 57 coaches on your staff, all of a sudden, mathematically, it just has to check out where you'll be top half. So I'm all fine and dandy with that, especially, again, if these guys in that building, if Ryan Silverfield feels, hey, I need a guy handling this, and I need him now, and I need it to be this guy, I'm fine with it. I'll hear him out. I'll go to the press conference. I'll do whatever I got to do. I would be interested to hear what his role is going to be, because of course he was a special teams coordinator, and we know Lunsford is going to be taking over that. And by the way, we love Chad Lunsford. Y'all see the picture of him, his family, they're all decked out in hog gear already. Love that. So listen, I don't really care what his role is going to be. If Ryan Silverfield feels he's necessary, that's all fine. I do think that wording is very interesting from Football Scoop of, given that Arkansas has all this money, they're going to make another significant move, and they are going to bring in a special teams coordinator to not be the special teams coordinator. I don't really know how that equates, and so that wording is interesting to me. But like, if they add another coach, cool, I guess. And hopefully, all these guys can recruit.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing too, is just the recruiting angle. And he also apparently was he's a Limestone University alum. I don't even know where Limestone University is. I'm just gonna be honest, but
was
he does.
No, that was LimeWire. I was gonna say, was it Limestone where you could download the music?
Yeah, LimeWire. I remember
LimeWire. Yeah, that was the
he's got expertise in LimeWire. That's huge.
yeah. He's big at bootlegging the music. But here's the thing: he's like he had a graduate degree from Georgia Southern. So I was like, okay, well, wasn't that where Chad Lunsford was a head coach of? So maybe there's some connection there. But either way, he was also coach high school football from 2018 until he got his first job though over at the Red Bull. So either way, it's like, this isn't a game breaker or anything, but according to the Google AI, which I'm sure never lies, it says that the average SEC team staff, which excludes the 10 full-time coaches, so this is an average of about 33 and a half individuals. So for that, again, that's what Google AI says. Okay. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what it said.
Question. I was about 12 hours into becoming a father. Was there a special teams touchdown in the Arkansas game?
I think there was. Did they house a kick or something?
Is that, I feel like they housed a kick.
Yes.
It was the first one under Scott Fountain, I remember.
Yep. You're right. It was a punt. It was a punt return too.
Okay.
So yeah. At least I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to go back and look, but no, you're right. It was, because it's funny thinking about that, because when you're hearing about special teams, I was like, okay, well, and it didn't mention any plays of significance. All right, good job, Football Scoop. That would have been a nice little scoop to put in there.
Come on, man.
Like you had it right there in front of you, man. You could have used it. But no, that's a great point. I didn't even think about that. But that was also, I think, that was my favorite thing, because there was like Scott Fountain, like just classic, just
people said classic Scott Fountain, and it was literally the first kick return touchdown he had allowed at Arkansas or something like that. They were like, classic Scott. I'm like, well, not exactly.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm just gonna see and make sure that I got it right. So yeah, it looks like that's again, it was so long ago. It just feels like eons ago that game even took place. Much less happened.
I'm pretty sure it was a kick return.
You're right. It was a kick return for 98 yards. Yep, by Chauncey Cobb. So, yeah.
Yes. So get that man in here. Then I'm sold now.
Yep, that's all we needed. Now he can help. Maybe he'll just coach the kick return team. Like he'll be like everyone's just going to have their own designation. Maybe that's what it's going to be here at this point. So, but yeah, look at that. New additions happening right and left when it comes to Razorback football, and continuing to add players to the mix. So either way, we'll continue to get into some of the conversation. We'll have some of your chats too, folks, which I know we'll always look forward to getting into those. I want to remind everybody that Drain Masters of Arkansas is going to have you covered for all of your plumbing and drain cleaning needs here in the state, because we know that there's nothing worse than trying to deal with all of those things. There's only so much you can do in your home or in your office. But when it becomes a problem, it becomes a major thing that could cause some major damage to your home or to your business. So don't wait any longer. Don't hesitate. Give the Masters of plumbing and drain cleaning over at Drain Masters a call. They serve Northwest Arkansas, River Valley, Oklahoma, and beyond, and they are ready to handle all plumbing and drain cleaning needs with professional and reliable service. And it's really easy to do. Whenever you need to request a service, just give our guy Jacob a call today at 479-646-5585. That's 479-646-5585. Or you can scan that QR code on your screen. It'll take you right there to their page to be able to check it out. And the best thing about it, folks, is that if you tell them that Inside Arkansas sent you, it's as simple as that. Just tell them that Inside Arkansas sent you, you get 10% off all of their services. It doesn't matter how big of a job it is. Doesn't matter how much you're needing done. If you just say, hey, the fellas from Inside Arkansas sent me, they're going to give you 10% off each and every one of their services. So anything and everything plumbing related, no job is too big or too small. Drain Masters of Arkansas has you covered. So, and I just laughed because somebody tweeted at me talking about the coaches getting at, and they're like, staff meetings led by Silverfield, and it looks like a keynote speech by Steve Jobs and an Apple thing. It's like, I mean, that's how it's going to be. But you brought up the amount, the number, and all of that. I think that's, you know, it's always going to be. It's just like so many things that we see in sports. It's never a thing that people bring up unless they're trying to use it as a negative. Like, you know, the second that they give up a kick return for a touchdown next year, it's going to be the same thing. Like, all these dadgum coaches and none of them know how to stop the kick return. It's just going to be that whole thing. But I'm really going to be curious, though, and I'm sure that there'll be articles once it's finalized, because who knows when it's going to be finalized. I thought, I was like, oh, I guess we're done here. And it's like, no, we're still adding. So I'll be curious to see how it compares. But, you know, I don't know. I think you brought it up, Andrew. It's like, I'm kind of with it, where it's like, this isn't like 100-year checks saying, all right, you're Silverfield, you got to hire this type of coach, you got to hire this staff, or you got to hire this, you have to hire this amount. I think hopefully what it was is like Silverfield is like, hey, here's your budget for coaches, here's your pool for money, go get whoever you need to get. And maybe that's the case, but I don't know. I don't see it. I said, I don't know if it's going to be better. I don't think it'll be worse, though. I don't think it's going to be a negative. Maybe it is, kind of like what you talked about, Chris. I don't know. It's just a fascinating thing because it's a new thing for us here at Arkansas. We've seen the staff on basketball grow by 1 billion just in the past couple years or few years. But in football, it's kind of stayed the same. But I'll be here to see how it all plays out, having that amount of coaches on the sidelines and part of the staff as well.
Well, you did the Steve Jobs thing there. This is going to test Silverfield's ability as a leader and communicator, because you're going to have we think about some of the stuff that Arkansas struggled with. It was like attention to detail, like the finer points of football. You know what I mean? And now you've got all these folks here, and that's great if they're all on the same page. Like if everybody understands the assignment. So that's on, Silverfield in these staff meetings and preparation and everything like that. We're gonna have a brand new roster who you're gonna be trying to get bought in and everything. So he's got his work cut out for him, man. Staff and players here. Now I know he's got at least a decent amount of familiarity on the staff, but they're all gonna have to be in lockstep. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think there's also there can be some value there in you never know what it is going to be. The advantage you have in a game week, you spend all week trying to find every advantage possible. If one of these random, 27th coaches is able to find the thing on film that gives us that advantage, cool, And so it's I feel like having all those different voices in the room, like you said, you gotta lead it and you gotta get everybody on the same page. But also that's more guys that can be dedicated to finding advantages for your football team. But I share the sentiment that a lot of the fan base has shared, which is I don't care how many coaches you get or where they come from. Give me a good football team. Yeah. Go out there and give me some players that are going to matter, some players that are going to make the difference. But I do think it's important to understand, because I see, I think we think about allocation of resources and funds, which is a made-up conversation. We know this. But I think a lot of times people see these coaching staff hires and think, oh, crap, are we spending too much on the coaching staff and not going to have enough money for the transfer portal? These are different ways the money's coming from. Coaching staffs literally are paid by the University of Arkansas, which 100-year check did say, hey, we're going to up our football spending and yada, yada, yada. And everybody took that to mean NIL. What he meant was they're going to hire more coaches. They're going to spend more in terms of the actual operation. What you do NIL-wise and what you do in the portal is completely separate. Now, you need it both to be good, but it's not one of those things where, hey, hiring this coach from Arkansas State, that we're doing this instead of getting that cool edge rusher, doesn't really work that way. But I am going to be very interested to see what this looks like in the portal when all these coaches, I know not all of them can go out on the road and recruit. What did we determine? Is it 10 or 11 that can actually leave campus and recruit? Whatever. But all these guys can be on the phone or whatever. what does it look like in a week from now when they're starting to contact transfer portal guys? Will this lead to some positive results there? Because I think we all agree we can be excited and we can be optimistic and say, hey, I like what these coaches bring on paper. You botch it in the transfer portal, all that excitement's going to go out the window. Now we're going to have a lot of questions, a lot of pressure. And so, listen, like I said, I don't care who these coaches are or where they come from. I just want to see them. I want to see the results. I want to see the proof in the pudding. And I think we can start to see that very soon here in the next couple of weeks if these coaches are able to go out there and recruit and all that. And, then by the time the season comes around, maybe we see spring practice, we can get a better feel for who these guys are, what they're going to do, and what the advantages will be.
Yeah, and I know that this is probably a weird way or a weird thing to think about or to bring up, but it also makes me wonder that I'm always looking at communication and everything. The more coaches you have, more tough it is to kind of like, plug leaks when it comes to like what's going on, or maybe like having
Dream Masters.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect segue there, right? But it's true. It's like, I wonder if, the more coaches you have and more involvement, and not to say that any of these coaches are just going to be babbling, but I mean, if they're all in the know, and it's I think there's going to be a lot more access anyways under Silverfield than what there was under Pittman. So maybe there'll be a lot more things that will there have to be more that they have to address, I guess. Like if there's some coach that hits up some reporter locally or whatever and says something, it's like, all right, well, who did this? It's like, oh, well, is the assistant quality and control special teams guy or whatever. It's like, all right, well, I guess we got to talk to this guy, Again, well, hopefully it doesn't really matter in the negative, but it's just like I feel like the bigger staff you have, the more communication that you're going to have almost, because it's if you try to hide things, it's going to be dadgum near impossible the more people you have in there. So, but again, it doesn't matter because it only matters when it's negative stuff. When it's good stuff, nobody really cares that much about it. So, okay, we'll get to your chats here in a second, but I did want to bring up something as part of our Alumni Hall question of the day, presented by our friends over at Alumni Hall. It's the ultimate Razorback shopping experience. We love being there this past Friday, a week ago, and it was awesome hanging out there and seeing all the great Razorback apparel and seeing all the people come in and get their great gifts for Christmas. Well, the thing is a lot of you probably got some gift cards, because there's a lot of gift cards being get out there. Well, you need to go over to Alumni Hall and start getting your Razorback gear geared up for conference play, for basketball. Baseball will be here before you know it. Maybe you need some short sleeves and some polos with the way the weather is, and they got plenty of it out there. So be sure to check it out, and you can have it shipped to you directly to your door, or you can do pickup by going to insidearkansas.com/alumni hall. That's insidearkansas.com/alumni hall. You get to see the entire inventory that they have, whether it's Johnny O, whether it's Columbia, whether it's Southern Tide. Doesn't matter. They have it all. And it's the nicest Razorback gear you could ever want. So head over to Alumni Hall. Check out Alumni Hall at insidearkansas.com/alumni hall. And guys, I was going to bring this up, but shout out. I hated that it wasn't us, but shout out to the person that won the Powerball here in the state of Arkansas. Congrats to you out of Cabot. Don't know who you are, but let's see. They just brought home a mere $1.817 billion. That's the prize with a B. $1 billion. They had the winning numbers. What's crazy is not only the winning ticket was sold in Cabot, but they also had a $100,000 ticket sold in Rogers and a $50,000 ticket that was sold in Little Rock. So, hey, listen, Arkansas is getting richer by the second. And the thing is like, I laughed about it because if we get in all the details, it's like the $1.817 billion prize can also be taken home in a lump sum of $834.9 million before taxes. I was like, okay, so you get less than half. You can take it at home, but that's before taxes. I'm like, all right. I mean, that's the way it goes. But either way, I wonder if we'll ever find out who it is. We may not, but as the jokes were made, I know, Curtis, you talked about it on Twitter, and everybody's like, it'd be nice. This guy was an Arkansas fan, and he was getting a phone call because I just add another billionaire to the mix of here in the state, and hopefully they're not like an Ole Miss fan or some crap like that.
Yeah, this stuff cracks me up, man. Like if whoever this is, if this person doesn't, buy the naming rights to the stadium or something, and, it's just going to be like, asshole, you ain't really from the natural state. Cabot, though. That's where it was sold, Cabot?
Yeah.
Okay, I hadn't seen that yet. I was wondering where it came from. It's entirely possible it's not a sports fan at all, or maybe somebody who, since it's not Northwest Arkansas, it's not like someone from Bentonville or whatever, the chances are higher that it's a Razorback fan and not somebody who's just here, for work or something. But I don't know, man. We'll see. It'd be cool if they did donate a bunch of money to the Hogs, but I don't know.
I think it's going to be we're going to get the names soon. Homer and Jethro's Razorback Stadium. That'll be cool. But no, is it fair to say that if Cal has not already kidnapped this guy's family and held them for ransom, that he has probably lost his fastball? Is that a fair assessment of the situation?
Probably so.
Yeah, seems fair.
I will
Seems
say,
fair.
y'all want to know who the lamest person you guys have ever met is? The guy that when you start talking about the Powerball says, well, it's actually taxed, and so you don't get all that money, and then, you got to pay off certain things, and blah, blah, blah. So it really actually sucks if you win the Powerball. That's the lamest guy you know. And I know that I know y'all heard from someone like that during this whole Powerball thing.
Yeah, because it's like I don't think anybody's been like, "Hey, I won $1.8 billion," and then that guy comes in and says that, and they'll be like, "Man, I'm really bummed now. I only won $800 million. Oh, jeez. Well, I'll take it back. Like no one
God
cares.
forbid they taxed $800 million, so it's like 550 or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
This is tough.
Yeah, I know. Especially like again, I hope the guy is a Razorback fan. We have no idea what's going to happen, but it's the second highest lottery jackpot in history. Like of the country, like it's that. So either way, shout out to him and shout out to him for doing that. And I was just curious to see with Razorback fans, because assuming that if they would have won the Powerball, what percentage of it would they have tried to give to Arkansas or the NIL and everything. I kind of had an idea of where this would be. It was simply 0 to 25, 26 to 50%, 51, 75%, 76 to 100%. 87% of you just said 0 to 25%. Smart people. Don't give it all away.
Yeah, I'd be closer to 0 than 25. I'm just being honest with you.
Oh man, yeah,
2% would be a noticeable. Like that would be a very big donation if you gave 2% of that sucker to Arkansas athletics. That completely changes their standing.
I would buy John Calipari one full roster.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Well,
go out and get whatever you want for 1 year. There we go.
Well, and it's like you just brought up about the huge number, Andrew. It's like, say if it was $1 billion and you gave 2%, guess what that is? $20 million. And guess what? That's your rev share. That's it right there. Boom. And 2%. And, I think that they would take that. But no, I was laughing. I was like, if one of us won it or if I won it, I was like, dude, I bet you your check would call us immediately. Just be like, hey, come on, man. What's up? How are you? Like, we love you. What do you think?
Somebody else to the room to talk to me. There's stipulations involved here.
Oh, no, that's what they do. If it was Curtis, they'd send Cal. If it was Andrew, they'd send Dave. If it was me, I don't know who. Maybe they'd send Silverfield, but it was just like we'll have it's like everyone's like, hey, get the best rep that the person would love to talk to, because Curtis, you'd love to talk to Cal. Andrew, you'd love to talk to Dave. Like, I mean, they do it the right way. They'd send the right representative over there for you.
I would hear Hunter out if it was in the right setting.
Yeah,
like if we went to an undisclosed location and just sat down with some beers, me and your check, talked it out, we could probably come to an agreement. I think.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just tell you, me and Hunter would not come to an agreement. He would not be the athletic director at the University of Arkansas if I won the Powerball.
I didn't tell you what the agreement was, but
and what I really genuinely, like, dead serious think I would do is I would go to Dave, obviously, but I would also like demand I would have my demands as well, where I'm like, hey, I get to pick at least some of these guys. Like, I'm not just going to give you $40 million to build a baseball, right? Like, I need some impact. Like, I need to be able to like talk to some of these guys. And what I would probably do is take the top 10 high school kids that are all going to sign and play pro ball, and I'd just be like, hey, $5 million each, go to Arkansas.
Yeah. Come on. Well, I was going to say, it would just be like, if I was that person, I'd be like, all right, Cal, I want to be not just on one of those Gucci row seats with the recliner. It's like, no, I want to be in the huddles. I just want to have a spot on the bench, and I won't say anything. But I just want to, when the timeout gets called and John George does the timeout, I get to walk over there and just listen into the huddle and look at you, and I won't say nothing. Just that's all I want to do. Just like, I want that seat, and you make that happen.
Remember when Muss let a former local radio host carry a clipboard at the Red White game and hang out?
I forgot
that would be my stipulation.
You know how cool Matthew McConaughey is? What we're talking about right now, he did it in real life. Like, he really did do all this crap where he was like, he was a minister of culture and he was funding the roster and all that. And he was funding the roster before it was cool to do that.
Yeah. Like, that's the type of power you can't buy, even though you have to buy it because you have a lot of money. So, but at Arkansas, you could just basically call you. Here's what I would say. If it's like, okay, I'd have my list of like, here's the things that I want me to be having, and here's the things I want done. You tell me how much it's going to cost, and that's how much I'll give you. And then they'll be like, hey, it costs this amount. I'll be like, actually, I'm going to give you less than that, just a little bit less. Deal. It's like, boom, there it is. So make it happen. But again, we don't know who it is, who won the Powerball, but they had a great, I think they probably had a great Christmas. I think it was probably a very Merry Christmas in that household over there in Cabot. And like you said, Curtis, and brought the point, I'm like, I'm glad it was Cabot, because it feels like if it was too East Arkansas, I'd be like, oh man, it might be, like an Ole Miss fan or something. And then, but if it was Northwest Arkansas, it's, it could have been just some random person who came in to work from Walmart that happens to be a fan of Alabama or something. But Cabot seems like a good medium. It seems like a good spot.
You have to be a Razorback fan if you're there in Cabot. There's not too many alternatives. I guess you could be like a big UCA fan. That's fairly close, or Little Rock or whatever. But yeah, I feel more confident than I did now having known that. I will say I would be more compelled. I mean, obviously, but even if I didn't have the allegiances I do, to donate to basketball because of John Calipari's donor insurance, his booster insurance. Somebody gets hurt or whatever, they dip or whatever, I don't get completely screwed. Cal would have the best odds of making me return the next year and investing again.
Yeah, I would also laugh because I'd love to be like, I don't know, you do what you want to, Curtis, but I'm like, if I was you and Cal was coming to me like, I'm not agreeing to anything, I'm going to give him money no matter what. But I just want to hear him talk to me and give me the pitch. Recruit me, Cal. I want to know how you're going to recruit me. And especially, like, are you just going to say, hey, I'm John Calipari type of thing? Or is it going to be like, Curtis, I've been to Lindenwood. I heard that you went there. I've been there. And let me tell you something. I had such a connection with is he going to go through your whole background and be like, man, in McCrory, the people, I had a very great friend from McCrory. Is it going to be very personal, or is it just going to be like, hey, I'm John Calipari, give me money? I don't know.
I saw your first win as a head coach was against Williams Baptist. I know a William who is a Baptist. Yeah, it'd be awesome.
Yes. I just, that would be my favorite part that I would look forward to. So, but either way, we'll get to your chats, folks. But I want to remind everybody that Hickey & Hole Law is the official law firm of us here at Inside Arkansas. And it doesn't matter what type of legal advice you need. Hickey & Hole Law is the best in the business when it comes to all of it. Divorce and custody cases, as we know, are extremely important because you're dealing with family. You're dealing with wives and husbands. You're dealing with kids. You're dealing with family. And it's a tough thing to try to navigate through, especially if you're doing it alone, but don't do it alone. Have the professionals, have Hickey & Hole Law provide you with that persistent and diligent representation, help guide you through the entire process because they have handled thousands of family law cases and have experienced nearly every scenario that has ever come up. And it doesn't matter if it's divorce and custody cases or even criminal cases, civil litigation, personal injury, or estate planning, Hickey & Hole Law is going to have you covered. They have offices across the state of Arkansas, from Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Little Rock, and Mena. And you can call them today at 479-434-2414. That's 479-434-2414. Or you can also check out their website at hickeyandhole.com. Scan that QR code right there on your screen. It's Hickey & Hole Law. Things are about to get better. All right, getting into your chats, folks. We also have a heavy hitter segment since we weren't able to be on the air. Unable, as if we're just forced off the internet. But because of holidays, we'll be doing our heavy hitters here in just a little bit. But shout out for our super chats. Super chats always get read first, as we all know the rules. But Little Rock 2517 said Ian Jafard gave my Christmas brisket a thumbs up. Really enjoyed hosting him at my house for Christmas.
I love this. Yeah. Was this the day, John? Was this the day you were out when we were talking about this?
Yes, it was.
Okay, it was when Jafard hit the portal and we were like, "Good luck, sailor." And then Little Rock 2517 came in and was like, "By the way, he's coming to my house for Christmas." And it was all in real time where suddenly like the reporting changed and it was like, "Well, Arkansas is working on bringing him back." So we put a lot of pressure on this cat. Like the brisket better be on point. You better have enough food. Sounds like he nailed it. It's good job. Good work.
Also, and I swear this isn't a mean joke, I am inclined to trust Ian Jafard's opinion when it comes to brisket. So if he says your brisket is good, that must mean it was pretty good. But in all seriousness, listen, we had the conversation the other day. I get that there's a lot of us that watched Ian Jafard play football, and you're maybe saying, oh, man, that guy wasn't even that good this year. Why would we want to have him back? Well, there's just not many defensive tackles with SEC experience floating around. Even bad ones are really not that, easy to come by. And so if Arkansas could keep him in the fold, I would hear him out. I would like to see the strength and conditioning program maybe step up a little bit at some point. But I don't know. I do hope you had a great Christmas with him, and I hope that your efforts helped, honestly. I look forward to seeing how this saga plays out.
In fact,
congratulations for not being on Lincoln Riley brisket status. So
man, that was brutal. That guy sucks. I never want to see him coach here at Arkansas because of that.
No, he's off limits. Yeah.
But also too, I will say this, even though if it's not the truth, I don't care. I'm going to lie about it. If Ian Giffard returns to Arkansas officially, Little Rock 25-17, you're getting all the credit from me, saying it's all you. Yeah, and you should, and it's Silverfield better send you a thank you note.
Well, he should just hire you. I mean, we're talking about recruiting and coaches on this staff. Why not?
We will never forget it. Every Ian Giffard tackle for loss, we will be giving you your credit to. Every single post-game show where Ian Giffard makes a big play, we will properly acknowledge that.
That's right. Shout out to our guy Hayden for the super chat. Says, unfortunately, I did not win. If I had this chat, would be larger, and Dave Enhorn wins the next 5 titles. So
we know your heart's in the right place.
That's right. That's the thing is, like, somebody made the joke of, like, also, people are talking about, oh, they better be Razorback fans. Like, well, what if they're a Razorback fan, but they're just like a Razorback fan of golf? Like, not saying nothing against the golf team, but they're like, hey, I'm just forget football and all that. I'm just going to flood the golf team. And it's like, yeah, that's okay, cool. But, or you can help out in these other places too. Golf will be good. We'll make sure golf's taken care of, but just, I don't think they need it. Let's see. Some other chats too. Hickory Hog says, respect the grind. December 26th ain't no holiday. It is not. I don't think so.
It's not a holiday. Adam. This does give off day after the Super Bowl vibes.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Because it's weird, right? Like it's worse than that actually, because day after Super Bowl, you're just hungover and everything. But it's a Monday, like it's the start of the week and everything. This is crazy because it's been like a couple days of holiday, and then it's just one day, and then the weekend. Just one day that you got to just slip back into to business mode for a couple hours. So it was strange waking up this morning, because on one hand I'm like, dang, going back to work already. But then on the other, it's like, yeah, then it's a couple hours. It's like it's almost like a 5-day weekend minus 2 hours or something. So it works.
Well, and it's the same next week too, where I imagine a lot of people get off for New Year's Day on that Thursday, and then don't have January 2nd off on Friday.
Oh,
so
yeah.
There's probably a lot of people who are going to maybe be off Wednesday, Thursday next week, and then you're just right back January 2nd, Friday, as the portal's opening.
Yeah. In fact, it's kind of funny that it's always easy to keep up with, because you can always say, hey, what day of the week is Christmas? It's the same day of the week that New Year's is going to be. So you always know it's going to be the same kind of the repeat deal. But yeah, I think everybody, maybe this is the way that people like it, but I just feel like, like we talked about, Christmas Eve on a Thursday, Christmas Day on a Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday. I feel like that's a good, probably the best of power rankings of the day of the week for Christmas to fall on is like a Friday. That's really nice.
It's ideal.
Yeah. Let's see. We already talked about Kyle Whittingham. Finch says, how about that rumor that Thero coming back after being sent to the G League? Folks were going crazy with that one.
It's crazy how people see, you know what I mean? Like just anything on the internet and run wild with it.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, let's talk about this for a second. Because, like, okay, obviously I don't even know the kid's name, Najee or whatever, that's going to Baylor. That was the 31st overall pick or whatever. Everyone is taking that situation and trying to apply it to other situations that are not the same at all. That's a very specific set of circumstances. He was an overseas guy, gets drafted, continues to play overseas basketball, never signs an NBA contract, never plays in the NBA, never is a part of a real NBA. I mean, I think he was in summer league or whatever, but literally never signed his contract or whatever. It's just that's a specific situation. And so if you can find a guy that fits that criteria, make your run at it. But I've seen a lot of people being like, oh, JD Note, let's just bring him back. I'm like, no, that's a completely different set of circumstances. Adu Thero played last night in the National Basketball Association. He scored a point in the National Basketball Association last night. He does not have college eligibility. Like, that is just a very different situation. And people have been trying to do it to other sports too, where they're like, hey, why don't we just get Vahiva back? Why don't we just get, we got some of these guys, Caden Wallace, he hasn't really made it to the big leagues yet. Let's just bring him back. I'm like, how do y'all think these apply? Like, what is the connection between these situations at all?
There's not, but it's fun. That's all that people like. They just like having fun. It's like, Kevin Kopps. I don't think he's ever played in the majors. Like, just bring him back.
He didn't make it to the big leagues.
Yeah, just bring him back. It'll be fine. Yeah, it's funny.
I've been trying to think of, like names that we remember that would fit that criteria, which first of all, John Calipari will never do this. He will never do it. This is backwards. Like he hates the portal. And he always exaggerates about like, we're playing against 28-year-olds. Well, now you are. Like you actually are. So it's kind of crazy. This is not the pathway that Cal is going to take. It'd be cool if it was, I guess, whatever. But like we saw the Kyrie Walker thing. Like he would be a name that we know as Arkansas fans. Another one, and this was just a couple years ago. It's like this is a younger guy. But you guys remember Dink Pate?
Oh yeah,
it's a name that kind of sticks with you. But he visited Arkansas a couple times, and I thought that he was going to be a Razorback. It was like Arkansas or Alabama during the Muss years, and he's a 5-star dude and everything. Then he wound up just foregoing and doing the G League Ignite thing or whatever, and then he's just been messing around the G League. Like he would be one who would qualify to come back and play college basketball. In fact, he would be one that I would be trying to get if I was anybody in the market for a talented wing or something. It's like there's some names out there that make sense, but yeah, like the dudes who played for you and left early or whatever. So somebody hit me with Audis Tony the other day, and I was like, no, that's not how this works.
Well, and like, listen, I think there's also been a huge uproar of people being like, hey, this is horrible for college basketball and all that. And I'm kind of inclined to agree to an extent. Like I think the lines are getting blurred a little bit, and this is getting a little bit out of control, but like we need to be able to understand the difference between a situation like a guy that got drafted and never signed and never played in the NBA or whatever, and then guys who just played college ball, because like this guy never played college basketball also. And so it's like, I just don't, we got to stop drawing comparisons to some of these things because they're just very different situations. Like Dink Pate, like you said, that's a very specific circumstance that actually does make sense. And there are parallels and does really kind of go along those lines. These are just, but we're pulling dudes that are just college basketball players that played 8 years ago. And they're like, yeah, let's just bring them back. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
What if a dude Thero came to, I know this is impossible, but I'm just saying a player like that came to Cal and said, Coach, my family needs help. I need you to help my family. And I have to come back to Arkansas. Yeah, he has to help the family. So it's like he'd have to come back. He'd have to let him back. So, and then you'd have Cal do his press conference. He'd be like, I'm helping a family. And then everyone's like, okay, well, we get it. We get it. That's, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of ways, but it won't happen. It doesn't matter. It's just one of those, it's like those one story that I know there's like those Karens and those moms out there. They see one news story that, some kid got punched in the face at a playground in like New Hampshire. And they just assume that happens every day at the playground that my son goes to. So therefore someone's going to get punched. It's like, just because it happened one time in the extraordinary circumstances does not make it just a very common thing that's always going to happen. It's just not the way it's going to be.
Right. I want to, whenever I might try to do it this weekend, go back and look at who Cal recruited heavily at Kentucky that wound up doing the G League Ignite thing or whatever, like who might meet that criteria, and I don't know, just like look at it and come up with a list. So I keep getting asked about it, but yeah, it's not going to happen. He's not going to do it. You know what's interesting about this? I crack up when I think now about how we're going to get to the spring, and you'll have, I don't know, Billy Richmond, for example. He might say, hey, you know what? I'm going to test the draft waters, but I'm going to keep my college eligibility open, and then they're going to give him hard and fast dates, like deadlines. You have to remove your name from consideration or you can't come back to play college. And a dude who got drafted damn near in the first round, 3 years ago or whatever it was, can in the middle of the season, because he wasn't good enough to play on an NBA roster, just decide at that point. Like there's no timeline for him. You know what I mean? He was literally drafted. That's the kind of stuff that's going to crack me up, which makes me wonder if that's just going to go away. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Just a thought process for me, like how you're really going to try to enforce these deadlines now. It's just like everything else that they're trying to enforce that they can't. The NIL clearinghouse, all that other nonsense, the international players who've been, getting paid playing professionally for 4 years and they come over here. You can't enforce any of it. There's just no more guidelines left. It's something that pisses Cal off, and it might run him off early. Tom Izzo, I just saw him teeing off about it. Kelvin Sampson, I've seen him, teeing off about it. And it's like, all right, when is it going to stop? Like, what's going to be the break point where they really try to get this thing under control? I don't care. I just want entertaining basketball, but the state of the game is in a really weird place.
Well, and here's why it's bad for college basketball, because I see a lot of people saying that without really having a reason for why it's bad for college basketball. But the reason why is that going to college as an 18-year-old gives you substantially less flexibility for all those same reasons you detailed. The reason why Billy Richmond has to adhere to these deadlines is because he's playing college basketball right now and, has his eligibility or whatever, but it's like, that's your whole thing. But a guy like this who never played college basketball has way more flexibility. It's not terribly dissimilar, frankly, from the MLB, where you can get drafted out of high school and not sign with that team and keep your eligibility, keep whatever. You can go to a JUCO. You can do whatever you want. You kind of keep your flexibility by not playing Division I college baseball. That's why I think it's bad for college basketball, because if you're a 17, 18-year-old kid, you're thinking, hey, I don't need to go play college basketball right now because I can go play for G League Ignite. I can go play for the New Zealand Breakers in Australia or whatever, and then I can kind of keep my options open. When you go to college, it then completely changes your flexibility. It completely limits what you can do, which I think in the long run will hurt college basketball.
Well, also a few other chats here too. Appreciate the super chat from Hog J. He says, "Happy New Year, guys! 2026 is the year of the hog." Well, I hope so, because we would love to have a year of the hog, and if it happened to be 2026, that would be great. So I guess would we consider the year of the hog meaning like basketball goes to like a Final Four, baseball goes back to Omaha, and like Arkansas football goes to a bowl game? Like, I mean, is that like oh man, that the year 2026 was the year of the hog if that happens?
2022 was a good like barometer for this, because you had Elite Eight basketball, Omaha baseball finished in the top 4, and then football went 8-4. I don't think we're going to get an 8-4 football season. So let's say football goes 6-6. Then we would need at least a Final Four, and probably, I don't know. It's gonna be tough. Like, I think we learned last year that going to Omaha doesn't really like do it these days.
Yeah.
Nobody considers Arkansas's 2025 baseball season a successful one. Like, outside of literally us, nobody considers it a successful season.
And that's just crazy, but it's true though. It's true.
So they got to win it.
I know. It's like you could tell everybody, hey, I guarantee you, every Razorback fans, you're going to Omaha this year. Be like, cool. What are we doing it? Like, that's just like, it just might as well just be like making the tournament. It's like, oh, that's fine and dandy. What comes along with it though? That's the important thing. So, let's see. Some of the chats. Hey, shout out to our guy Peyton from Blue Ember. Appreciate you, Peyton. Says, wasn't going to say anything, but it was me. He's like, I won the Powerball, fellas. All of it's going towards Hog NIL and Inside Arkansas. Well, if you're going to twist our arm, if we could, let's talk. We'll get us a studio, 6th floor of some building, and we'll have some fun with it. So, but yeah, appreciate your pay.
Hey, let's just take his word for it and go ahead and get in the building.
Yes, because I'm sure that usually will end really well if we do something like that.
As soon as I saw Cabot, I thought about Peyton, actually.
Yeah. It's like there's a few connections there for the Cabot support. But Jaron says, if you won that much money, how much would you donate to each sport? John, Curtis, and Andrew.
I would donate to. Oh, it depends. Actually, I don't have a great answer for that. So I would be more compelled to donate a good amount to basketball, obviously. And I would be more compelled to continue doing so because of the things that Cal's doing to help prevent donor fatigue. You keep coming back to the well, and if you're not getting return on your investment, that kind of sucks. And some people get burned and then they're out. It becomes tricky. And so I like the safeguards that he's putting in place there. I like DVH, so I would hook them up. I like Silverfield, but I would need certain people at the U of A to be nicer to me before I gave football a bunch of money, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, so I've been thinking about it ever since I saw this chat. I like what you said, because your dollar goes way further in baseball, obviously, than anything. And even in basketball, it goes a little bit further. Like if you gave Dave Van Horn $1.5 million, Arkansas literally, like their entire portal class is completely different. If you gave Ryan Silverfield $1.5 million, you can maybe get 2 players, maybe one really good one. You know what I mean? Like maybe 3 if you play your cards right or whatever, but like it doesn't move the needle that much. So I think that's something you got to consider. You also, everyone always says, oh, if I have $800 million, I'm just going to give $100 million, whatever, blah, blah, blah. you got to keep doing this year in and year out. And so that precedent, I would not set. I would, like, genuinely speaking, I would be giving, a good amount to baseball because those are my guys. I would also give myself a job on the staff, all these things. But I would be good to give like $10 million every year to Arkansas baseball, because I think that would we would be by far the number one NIL, number one everything. Arkansas would become the best program in the country overnight if I were giving them $10 million every single year. Basketball, I think the number would be pretty similar, frankly. Now you need to spend a little bit more than $10 million to really have a good basketball roster, but like Cal can take care of that if he knows he's got $10 million
John
coming
Tyson
from me every year.
Yeah.
Football, I would give like a base level, like, maybe $800K a year, something like that. But I would also make it very clear I'm open to negotiate. But I would need, like you said, those people to be nice to you. I would need Silverfield and people from his staff to come to me, ask me for what they want, and tell me why it's actually effective and why because I'm not just going to give you a blank. Like Dave, I can give him $10 million and trust he's going to use it right. I do not trust Arkansas football. Shout out to our guy Geiska or whatever. I'm sure he's doing a great job, but it's like I would need to see specifically what are you using this for, and it would fluctuate year to year with football.
He's he was definitely who I would want to talk to, the GM.
Oh yeah. And I'll say this: I'm going to get biblical on y'all. I don't know if you've ever heard the parable of the hidden talents, but basically, where there was three people that were given, one was given 5 talents, one was given 2 talents, one was given 1 talent. Person with 5 talents went and made another 5 talents with 10. Another person had the 2 talents, doubled it, made 4 talents. But the one with the 1 talent went and buried it and came back. 2 of the guys that ended up doubling it said, enter in, good and faithful servant. The other one was like, hey, you're lazy and slothful. The point is, that goes back to the point of what you were making, Andrew. Is like, if I'm going to do that, I'm going to give it to somebody that I know it's like, is the investment going to be worth it? Is it going to be doubled? I'm not going to give it to you and then you just go and waste it. Like, you're not going to just waste it by not doing anything. But I feel like if I was doing it, because here's what I do first, because I assume this is not just a 1-year thing. It's like it's a multiple year thing. I'd be like, which sport is the closest to winning a championship right now, to where if I just donated right now, they'd be there. I do that first. But then with football, I'd be like, all right, I'm going to start here. And then there's going to be like terms where it's like, if I gave $20 million to football and Arkansas, well, they get a 7-win or 8-win season. I was like, all right, well, I'll donate more or whatever. But if they have a losing season, it's like, all right, you lose money now. You're losing money. It's kind of getting to that point where it's incentive based. So, it's a fun question though. It's a fun discussion to have. It's always fun to talk about things like, if we had all the money in the world, what would we do? And that'd be great. That would be great to have. So,
bro, I'd be poaching. I'd poach a few Olympic gymnasts too.
Oh,
I would. Like Suni Lee would be at Arkansas.
Yes. I would get any and every single person out there. I would openly go and poach Jay Johnson's group at LSU. I would actually tweet out and tag their players and be like, hey, don't play for a Chotch. Come and play for Dave, and just do that. And then I'd go and I'd tell Tony. I'd be like, Tony, get out of the pros, bro. I'm going to double your salary. Just come be Dave's assistant. You could be the special assistant to the regional manager or whatever. Just hang out and be the coach in waiting and just chill. Just recruit. And then, just do all those things. If we just had all the money in the world, make it so easy. All right. A few more chats here before we get to our heavy hitters. I guess Dwight, I think we might talk this, but he says, I want to know about the football GM role because the other GM we have had, we never heard from or about him. Well, thing is that he's still there, Remy Cofield. He's like the head GM, and then you have the GMs of the specific sports. And the Gazka, I want to keep calling him Gaiaka just because from Rush Hour 2, I don't know if anyone gets that reference, but he's like the GM of football. And then you have a specific GM, quote unquote, for basketball, which I just always assume it's John Calipari, but I'm sure they have somebody. But same thing with baseball. The point is like his role for the football side of things is just football. Remy Cofield is overhead of all of that. And the reason you don't really hear much from Remy is because I guess my question would be, what all would you want to hear from Remy? Like, do you want to just him have like a press conference where he gives an update? Is it something that you want to see the financial statements? I don't know. It's like maybe a few tweets. I guess that would help, but I just don't think that's going to change. And I don't know. Maybe we don't even hear from Gazka or whatever. He may be just working in the shadows as well, and that's fine.
I don't know how many of those guys do public addresses really, like throughout the country. I don't think you see a whole heck of a lot about that. agree from a standpoint of I would be interested just because I want to know. But he's, just like we had Remy the one time over the summer or spring or whenever the heck it was, and he didn't tell us anything. And like nobody would really tell us what's actually going on here. It would be whatever the GM version of coach speak is, I guess. But I am fascinated by the inner workings and what all that would look like. I don't expect to hear about it.
Yeah. It would be one of those things to where it's like the last time I heard from Remy, all we know is that his wife did not want to be here. Like that's pretty much what we took about. Is like his wife was not too happy that he was here. So, all right, we'll get to some of your final chats, but let's go ahead and jump into our heavy hitters presented by our friends over at HD Roofing and Construction, because we know, folks, that storms can hit any point in time. I don't know if you knew this, but if it's been really cold and then it gets hot as balls like it has been today in the past few days, that usually means storms are a brewing. That means weather is going to be chaotic and crazy in Arkansas. But what else is new? Well, what could be new is your roof, because you need to make sure your roof is able to take on any sort of storm. That includes rainstorms, that includes windstorms, that includes snow, ice, all of the elements that could be problematic for you. You need to make sure that you're taken care of, the roof's taken care of. So not only that your possessions are good, but you, your family, everything, it's extremely important. So have HD Roofing and Construction give you that peace of mind with a free inspection. They'll come to your home and let you know, hey, you need a new roof. Hey, you need some repairs, or hey, your roof is good to go. No worries. No matter what it is, it's going to be free, because when you choose HD Roofing, you can get that professionalism, top quality materials, and expert installation for all of your roofing needs. You can call the Northwest Arkansas office today at 479-957-1928. Or in Central Arkansas, you can call their office at 501-428-0429. That's 501-428-0429. No matter what it is, you can also check out their website at hdarkansas.com. It's HD Roofing and Construction, our sponsor here of our heavy hitters on Inside Arkansas. So, fellas, looking at some heavy hitters for me at least. One of them, I want to give a shout out to the Lieutenant Governor Jeff Landry of Louisiana. You're probably like, why? Why again? You know why? Because he was, of course, the role that he played in the whole coaching search and how he was critical of Brian Kelly and the whole thing with the buyouts and how it was terrible. And you're talking about the AD's not going to make the hire and all this stuff. But essentially he says, quote, "Don't hate the player, just hate the game," is what he wanted everyone to know. So I'm like, all right. But you know what's funny about this is, I remember we talked about it when it happened in moments of this guy just was like, man, this is wild. The governor's getting involved. Guys, they ended up with Lane Kiffin as their head coach. So it's like, it's like, all right. I mean, listen, you could criticize it. It was pretty rough, but I don't agree with him just being like, yeah, don't hate the player, hate the game. I was like, oh yeah, because Lane Kiffin's here because of you, buddy. Like, that's why. But it's more of like, it's a lot easier to kind of spike the ball a little bit and feel vindicated, which I hope this doesn't set a precedent for like other states too, of now like suddenly you're just going to have governors coming up right out and being like, yeah, this football coach is crap. It's like, yeah, but what about the hungry kids in the inner city? Hey, football is bad. This guy sucks. You need to get out of here. Hopefully that ends up that setting a precedent. But I just love the fact that he's like still just like, yeah, don't hate the player, hate the game. Like, what are we doing here? Like, what is like, well, that's like something from like the like my high school days that we would say and stuff. So anyways, he's my heavy hitter because he's flexing just because, like, again, he had no role in it, but I'm sure in his mind he thinks that he was the reason why they were able to get Lane Kiffin right now at LSU.
Could you imagine like Sarah Huckabee Sanders after the Silverfield hire being like, "Don't hate the player, hate the game"? It's just
crazy. Like, okay, cringe. Yeah, cringe.
It's funny, man. That whole situation. Anything that involves Lane Kiffin is like, theatrics or whatever. Did you guys see his tweet? It's like the scenic view or whatever, and then you can just see the chick's legs in the yoga pants, and it's like this guy doesn't care. He does not care, man. He just feeds into the frenzy. It's absolutely nuts. Maybe he should get a heavy hitter for that. I don't know, but that was wild behavior. Mine, just a shout out to a future Razorback, Abdu Torre, balling out, man. Razorback commit, and he's a 4-star, and some places have him in the top 30. Mostly, he's in the top 35 or whatever, but he's not like the top 10 bona fide 5-star McDonald's All-American. Maybe he should be, because he was out at the City of Palms Classic, which is one of the better, like the coolest thing about high school basketball for me is the holiday tournaments they do over Christmas break. You get a bunch of teams from different places together in the gym, and you see what's going on. That's a really, really good event. I remember Nick Smith and Khalil Ware, that team going down there, and they balled out at that thing. But he averaged 39 points per game down there. Just absolutely dominant. One of his games, he was 16 of 20. And again, it's against good competition. He looks really good, man. He's having a hell of a senior year. And, we talk so much about J.J. Andrews, rightfully so. Glad he's on the road to recovery. I saw he was getting right-handed jumpers up because he's got that cast or whatever on his other hand there. But Abdu Torre is not talked about enough, man. He's a really talented player. He's a Calipari mold type of guy, super athletic. He's honing his skill set. He's going to be a lot of fun to watch. You think about the reasons why you like Billy Richmond and some of the reasons why you like Carter with their athleticism and their physicality and all the things they bring to the table. He embodies all of that. He's going to be a lot of fun. I'm glad to see him balling out. I imagine when they update the rankings, I'm not saying all of a sudden he's going to be like a 5-star and he's going to make this crazy leap, but he's going to get a bump for the things that he's doing right now. He's going to be a hell of a lot of fun to watch.
Real quick, Curse, just out of curiosity, do you remember the Holiday Hoops Classic in Northwest Arkansas way back in the day? Did you ever remember that at all?
Nah, I don't remember that one. I mean, I remember like the King Cotton, And,
I had to go and cover that when I was at the Buzz. They made me do a lot. It was funny. They had to do a live radio show from 1 to 4, and then we did it on the court during a basketball game. Like there was going on, I hear the buzzers going off. But yeah, there's always the reason when you brought up the holiday thing. It was like I always remember Holiday Hoops, and then the Real Deal on the Hill way back when.
Yes.
When I got to meet Kendrick Perkins in an elevator, and he was really mean. So, anyways, just something I wanted to bring up, but yeah.
I like that. Well, my heavy hitter is the National Basketball Association, the NBA. So yesterday, everybody knows like Christmas Day, the NBA always tries to do their best. They try to put their best foot forward, try to get as many good matchups as they can. Everybody remembers the cool little commercial back in the day where they had the little bells and the net and all that. It's always been a thing, the NBA on Christmas. The NFL is now starting to put their hand in that, trying to kind of dominate the Christmas Day as well. And if I had to guess, I would imagine substantially more people were watching Netflix and watching the NFL yesterday. And I'm sure a lot of people in this very chat were watching the NFL and not watching the NBA. And that's fine. Like everybody can do, everybody has their preferences, whatever. But I did want to give the NBA a shout out. I just thought it was like a perfect start to finish, every game just about. The Warriors Mavs game wasn't a great game. I think the Warriors ended up winning by like 10 or 12 or something. It really wasn't that entertaining. And the Rockets ended up blowing out the Lakers. But like even in that game, I mean, you had Kevin Durant, LeBron, Luka, Austin Reeves got hurt, which is really what threw that game out of control. But just start to finish, awesome games. You had the Knicks come back, erase a 17-point fourth quarter deficit. Jokic and Anthony Edwards with like a battle for the ages, truly. Like one of the best, I'm not even exaggerating, one of the best basketball games I've ever watched at any level. Anthony Edwards, I think he scored like 10 of the last 12 points for the Timberwolves to force overtime, hits a crazy 3 with 1 second left to send it to overtime, and then starts off on a tear, gets the Wolves up 9 to start the overtime period. Nuggets come storming back. Jokic's stat line, I don't have it in front of me. It was literally
I do if you want me to read it for you.
Yeah, please read his stat line.
Okay, so he played 43 minutes. He had 56 points on 15 of 21 from the field, 4 of 6 from three-point land, 22 of 23 from free throw line. He had 16 rebounds as well as 15 assists and 2 block shots and 5 turnovers. He was a plus 15 and only 2 fouls. So he's plus 15.
And he doesn't even like basketball. It's crazy, dude.
No, literally. It was unbelievable, man. And it was like the games had a nice atmosphere. I don't know if y'all noticed this. The morning game, they did the like Disney alternate broadcast version. Like Nickelodeon's been doing their thing. They had a Disney version, which is, I think it's the second year they've done this. You had like Goofy hitting threes. Mickey Mouse was Donovan Mitchell. He was going off. It was just cool. Like, I just thought it was a well-produced start to finish, great day. And honestly, I mean, frankly, I'm not trying to make this an NBA versus NFL thing. The NFL game sucked. I unfortunately watched 2 of the 3, but you had like backup quarterbacks in there, which, is not the NFL's fault or anything, but it's like, I just feel bad that I feel like most people spent yesterday watching bad football when they could have been watching just damn good basketball played all day. A lot of cool stars and stuff. So I wanted to give the NBA their shout out. I know the NBA is a controversial, and some people don't like it and whatever. But yesterday was a lot of quality hoop on the telly. Curtis, did you end up betting on the Rockets?
Yes, I did. I took your advice, and I bet a pretty hefty sum on them. So it was a good return. Felt good, man.
Well, shout out to Austin Reeves. I'm not kidding. It was a close game until Austin Reeves got hurt, and then the Lakers completely fell apart.
Yeah,
man. Yeah. So real quick, you're trying to bring up the Disney thing. If you guys were playing on an NBA or NFL team or whatever, what Disney character would you want to be representing you in the basketball game or in whatever game? Like who would be the Disney character you'd want to be you?
Goofy, after what I saw yesterday, because he was out there getting buckets, man. They couldn't do anything with him.
He's rangy. Goofy's got the wingspan. He really does. Give me Stitch, who I'm just gonna be honest with you. I tapped into the Disney broadcast just to see what it looked like. And when I saw Stitch had turned into the basketball and was wreaking havoc all over the place, but give me Stitch. I think he's got the tenacity. Patrick Beverly type game.
Yeah. If it was football, give me Gaston from Beauty and the Beast. He's solid. Yeah, tight end. Yeah. Like I think it'd be right there, So yeah, give me that. But either way.
Hey, I've got one more heavy hitter that I want to share with you. So I got a message on Instagram yesterday, and it was from a young couple, Allie and Jamel, and they welcomed a new baby, Christmas Eve baby. How about that? So congratulations on the new addition and everything. Then I received a picture of, and this is awesome because it's like the first morning with a new baby. Coffee Club tapped into the pot, the palace. Dad with baby. Dad also made a Waffle House run, so had a legit Waffle House waffle. Coffee Club was on deck. Baby, however many hours old, listening to the pot, the palace. I thought that was awesome, really cool. So, hey, it spreads, right? It's not just for John Rothstein. Okay. It's for us too. But very, very cool. Wanted to congratulate them and give them a shout out. It made my day that, wife just had a baby, or whatever. And she thought to message me that I wonder what she was thinking in her mind. She's very, very nice, but this seemed like definitely a dad taps into the show thing. Like the first morning, you're just kind of waking up, you just went through all that and it's like, whose voice is, what is going on? Where's my child? Oh, he's listening to that guy again. Okay, got it. I thought that was awesome.
I mean, I made the joke at the top of the show about like how we really are a part of everyone's everyday lives, and they're a part of ours too. Like y'all would be stunned at how often we talk about y'all, and we'll be off camera just being like, "Dude, can you believe what Dalton's Motorsports said?" or whatever. Like we really do have these conversations, and so there's no better example. That's freaking Christmas morning. Your 1 day old baby, and you're listening to Curtis talk basketball like that. That's dedication. That's very endearing. It really is.
Yeah. It's my favorite thing always just to see like, and I mean this in the most respectful way of like when people are going through like health things, like they're in the hospitals and they're listening to us or whatever. I'm like, that's awesome. Like, cause I get it. It's like, there's a calming, like away from it type of thing, but it also just makes me laugh, whether it's something like, having a baby or like going through surgery. I know, we've had people who've gone through, like our guy Derek Raduno is just going through cancer treatments and everything. It's like listening to us, so it's just awesome. So, but yeah, those are the things that's really cool, and always appreciate that and all the well wishes as well. So, but yeah, that's awesome. That's absolutely awesome. All right, so before we got about 5 or so minutes here, let's get into some final chats. Appreciate everybody again hanging out with us on a weird Friday. There's not a holiday that it's called today? Is it just like the day after Thanksgiving or what is it?
I think people do call it Boxing Day.
Oh, why Boxing Day?
Isn't that
you're boxing up all the stuff that you got? You're getting rid of boxes.
Okay.
We're always big on. We take one box. Like for instance, I got some boots yesterday, not like cowboy boots, but like just boots that you can wear, and it came in a big ass box, and so we've been like just stuffing all of our presents and our stuff into that box. You always got to find one box that can help you out.
Okay. There you go. Well, that makes sense though, because like I'll admit I'm not going to out myself, but like there's where I've moved, guys. I have a community dumpster. That is the best part about this stuff. Is like before I had the little got to fit it in one little trash can, and no man, I just load up my truck and just toss, and it's the best thing ever. So did that with all the boxes.
Need that over here. We I say me. I forgot to get the trash to the curb last week. And then it was a day late this week because because it runs at our place on Thursday, so it just came today. I had so much garbage out there. It was kind of embarrassing, man. But yeah, I would love to have a community dumpster.
Yeah, we'll put in a good word for you with the city of Fayetteville. I'm sure they'll get out there and do it for you. Let's see a few super chat here from Josh says, John, you can't say quarterback controversy scares off top wide receivers, then want to add a QB whose only effect is creating controversy with KJ. Just get a backup. I assume you're referring to my locked on from earlier this week, and I'm just gonna say I wasn't talking about creating controversy with KJ. I'm just saying that if you're a top tier wide receiver who played at Auburn or wherever, and you're getting recruited by a place like Arkansas, I'm sure one of the biggest questions will be like, that's great and all, but who's throwing me the ball? Like, they want to know who's throwing me the ball. And if you're like, well, we'll find out in the spring, that may not be the way that most wide receivers would want to see it. But I feel like if you added a guy, or you came in like, hey, this is our guy, and I use the DJ Lagway example. I'm not saying he's coming to Arkansas, but if you just got a guy that's like a bona fide dude starter, it's a lot easier to recruit the wide receivers. That was my point. So, but yeah, it just depends. Just depends. It's just, if I was a wide receiver, I wouldn't be like, yeah, I'll go to this school where they don't know who the quarterback is. No, it's like you're wanting to know who's throwing you the ball. It's a big part of it.
Sure.
Let's see. Oh, Michelle has a heavy hitter. She says Curtis is a heavy hitter for a fire emoji Christmas dinner on the grill and making Wes's first Christmas so fun.
It did look good.
It looked great.
Thank you. Yeah, dude, I was pressed with those Cornish hens, man. Checking them every so often, making sure the temperature was right, trying to make sure it was done evenly. It's a process. And then you're trying to get, you know how it is. You guys have made dinners before, but like you make a feast, even though me and Michelle were the only ones in our house that could eat it. Slim got some pickings or whatever. We can't feed the baby. It was crazy, but no, man, it was a stressful situation. We got through it though. It worked out. I was happy about it. I had way more fun the days in between. Like Christmas Eve was when we did the hens and the oven and all that. Let me get outside and fire up the grill kind of guy. So like yesterday, had some steaks. I put one of those hens up on the top and let it smoke a little bit. Felt pretty good about it. You just becoming a father, you automatically graduate one notch as a chef. You just wake up one day, you have a baby, and it's like, oh, I know my way around the kitchen better than I used to. And that feels good. One day he'll have kids, and then he'll have a wife, and I'll be cooking for more than 2 or 3. So got to get better.
I like that. John, what did you eat on Christmas?
So I had one part of it was a prime rib, and then another part of it was steak. So like I had prime rib on Christmas Eve and then steak on Christmas Day.
A lot of meats. I like it.
Had a lot of sweats too. Yeah. So
we had a Mexican Christmas here. Enchiladas.
I've always wanted to do that. Yeah, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, I mean that's the way to do it. Let's see. I was going to just bring up something about the food. I was going to say, Curtis, if you ever want to, you just be inside Arkansas food. You can just start doing that. You make your TikToks like of, just be like preparing and just being like, I'm Curtis Wilkerson of Pot at the Palace.
Get Michelle to voice it over.
Yeah.
Today we're doing TikTok. They'll have the voiceover where they're like, you put it in the oven. You can have Michelle do that part.
Yeah. We're going to be making baked Alaska today. And it's just like, going through this whole thing of.
I'd be up for that. It would be not safe for work, but she should probably just record me when I'm cooking anyway. Some of the things that come out of my mouth, it would go viral, but maybe for the wrong reason. So,
It's true. Well, speaking of that, sorry, I missed some super chats. My bad. Josh also says, be honest, do we have a better chance of getting a top wide receiver that makes a quarterback look better, or the reverse?
I think you have a better chance of getting a top wide receiver.
Yes.
I feel like this is an extension of the locked on conversation. And so I'm speaking out of turn here. I think this conversation has gone, I think there's been some miscommunication here. I get your point, John, about how having a stable quarterback situation, whether that be you bring in a top guy that everyone knows, or just having a returning starter or whatever, would help you. Like I think Omega Blake, it probably helped having Taylor Green, where he didn't have to wonder who his guy was. But I also definitely agree with Josh's point that it's probably an easier, cheaper option to just go out and get a bunch of good wide receivers. But no matter what, you got to have stability at the quarterback position. And I think as an Arkansas fan, you just have to hope that KJ Jackson brings that stability.
Yeah.
Because frankly, the numbers wise, Arkansas is not getting a top quarterback in the portal. Even if they really wanted one, they're not getting, if Sam Leavitt cost $5 million, then like
Yeah.
I don't even know what a good quarterback would cost. Like, geez, like good Lord. Like I like genuinely, it's like I don't even think you should want a guy like that, frankly. Not that
Yeah.
Sam Levitt's not good. I'm sure he's gonna be fine at whatever school he ends up with. If he costs $5 million, he is not worth it.
No, not at all. Not at all. Finch, really appreciate the super chat, man. He goes, if y'all would do me the favor by wishing my son James a happy belated birthday, y'all wouldn't believe how much his day would be made. Well, happy belated birthday to your son James. James Finch, I assume, is his last name.
that.
So
No,
Hey,
happy belated birthday for sure. And listen, if you're listening out there, I know it sounds like your birthday is very close to Christmas. Those are two very separate and distinct holidays and should be celebrated equally on their respective days. Don't let them tell you otherwise if they try to.
Yeah, I like that. You definitely
days.
cannot be getting skimped on the presents and all that. And you need to be, your parents need to be giving you stuff and Santa Claus needs to be giving you stuff. You got to have both. This is not an either or type of thing. Also, his name is Jimmy Finch. Not to be confused with the great softball pitcher back in the day, Jenny Finch. Y'all remember Jenny Finch?
Softball
Arizona
pitcher.
Y'all don't remember Jenny
yeah,
Finch?
that's right. She was softball, right? Yeah.
She struck out Albert Pujols at that celebrity game that one time. But
Oh.
yeah,
I
I just
remember.
when I saw this, that's all I could think about was Jimmy Finch.
well, there you go. There you go. Well, happy belated birthday to him there, Finch. Okay, a few more here. Evan just says, Michelle, is he wearing new Balances yet?
I've not gone with the dad. It's the dad it's like the lawnmower New Balances, you know. No, but I did receive a New Balance jacket for Christmas. It's some high quality stuff. It will make an appearance on this show soon.
Hey, my favorite present I got so far. Well, I don't think I'm getting any more, so it's over. It is my favorite present. I got some New Balances that are not like those dad ones, but just some nice little streetwear, little light blue in on there. I like those.
You can get those Cooper flags.
Did not get the Cooper flag specials. No, I did appreciate seeing my I get jealous every time I'm seeing my nephews and nieces open their stuff because I'm like, dude, I wish I was in their shoes. But my niece, who has been very likes to dress up as a princess and yada yada yada, she's now playing basketball and she got some like super cool Nike basketball shoes and she was excited about it, which just really made me happy. Where I'm like, oh, she's starting to come around, starting to be a hooper now.
See, I feel weird now because I own 3 pairs of New Balances, and I don't know what that says about me.
You have
it's
some
just
cool ones though.
You don't have
the
those,
dad
though.
ones.
Yeah.
Well, what's the dad ones? Like, I guess I'm.
If you
like,
saw them, you would definitely be like, oh yeah, like they're like
The white with the blue in.
Yeah, they're like
and
navy blue in, and they look almost like
got you. Okay.
I
wear
don't
it
know how to
with some,
describe it. Just
with like
Google like dad New Balance shoes.
Okay. Yeah. It's like,
What's the why am I blanking on the movie? Never mind. I had to think about it. I couldn't even describe it adequately.
oh. Well, okay. So I don't have those. So I guess I'm good. They make them with Velcro though, man. So if you ever, getting really crazy with it, just get the Velcro shoes. All right. A few more here. Let's see. A big 88 box body fan says, does John know about Roast Beast now? Yes. I do know about Roast Beast. I did watch the Jim Carrey version of How the Grinch Stole Christmas. And as I tweet out, it was great. I was really bummed that I missed out on that for so long. And I understand not only because it's a cool movie and it's well done, but man, Jim Carrey, especially during that time frame, was just, anything he does is just awesome. So it's like, he made it and he was the Grinch. Like he did such a cool thing. But then I heard stuff of like, it took him like 4 hours every day to be in makeup. And I was like, that sounds horrible just to get that on every day. But either way, it was really great. Great movie. A lot of people in it that I didn't realize were in it. So yeah, it was good. Anybody that needs to bully me into watching another Christmas movie next year, just let me know.
Crazy Stupid Love. Have y'all seen the movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Steve Carell had the New Balances. Ryan Gosling
Yes.
was teeing off. He was like, "Oh, those are the exactly.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
those are the ones." Okay.
Yes.
He
It's
like
like
threw him off the thing at the
Yeah.
I
always
think you're
think
about to pitch John on watching Crazy Stupid Love.
yes, I thought it was it too. I was like, oh, I'm about to be
I was like,
bullied to watch this one.
He should watch. It's a good movie, but I was like, I don't know if that's like a must watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, add that to the list.
Yeah. Real quick. I'll just get off and watch it real quick. Few things here too. David says, my son got a new RC car. He's loving life today. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah, he's outside getting crazy with it. I like that.
Is that
Yeah.
remote control? Is that what RC means?
Yes.
Is that what
Wait,
RC means?
Yeah.
I cannot believe it. I'm this old. I never put that together.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
cars,
like not to be confused with like RC Cola. It's not like
That's what I was just
but
thinking.
yeah, but no, like RC cars, remote control car. Yeah,
Well, you know
I
how
like it.
cars are. Like there'll be like, oh, the Pontiac GT or the the NS whatever. Like I think my Corolla is like a LE or something like that. Yeah, there's cars you never know.
Yeah.
I feel like that was a rite of passage. Every kid has to have an RC car that's some capacity or something like that. But yeah, that's big. Shout out to Parker. He says, I just pulled my pizza out of the oven and dropped it right on the floor face down.
That's brutal. I did that one time. It was when I still lived in St. Louis, and it slipped off of the pizza spatula. I don't know what the hell you call it, handle. I had one of those cool things, and it slipped off of that face down back in the oven. So it was like a steaming hot under. Yeah, brutal. I never got it cleaned. I was never able to get it fully cleaned out. And then everything smelled like burnt pizza for like a year. It's awful.
Oh, yeah, there's nothing worse than that. A few more here. Hickory Hawk says trampolines are the state bird in Oklahoma. You got to tie them things down. It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, they are. They do go flying.
Pizza peel. Thank you, Ryan. Sorry.
Pizza peel?
Yeah.
That's the name of the
it's like this, the handle thing.
Gotcha. Which, by the way, I got my 6-year-old nephew a lightsaber, a purple lightsaber, and I ordered it from Amazon. That thing is like, it's got a metal handle. It's a little too legitimate for him, and I'm like a little scared that my brother's going to get mad at me because he's going to just nail one of his brothers in the head with it because it's like used as a weapon. So I'm kind of nervous about that, but it'll be fine. Let's see a few more here. Samuel says, John, why do you have the current Inside Arkansas Live that you are on right now on the TV behind you? I don't know, but I will say that I'm going to go with, it's like a newsroom, like the newsroom would always have the, back in the day, just different things going on. So yeah, just to make sure, we're on the air on YouTube and making sure it's all good. And
it's helped me understand what our delay is.
Is it really?
Yeah.
What is our delay?
It's like 10 seconds. I've been paying attention to it. It's like 10 seconds behind.
Okay.
Sometimes I wait. I hear like Andrew will say something crazy. I'm like, dang, that was wild. And then I'm waiting. I'm like, why are people not reacting to this in the chat? I never know how long the delay is. So,
John, could you angle it to where we could see your screen so it could be like screenception, because it'll have you on there and it'll be like 8 different rows of us.
See if I can do that. I don't know if I could do it to the back way, but I'll work on that though. I'll work on that. So yeah, just where it makes it, because that won't be distracting to anybody at all. I mean, for crying out loud, that thing's distracting as it is. People are watching War Machine highlights like instead of listening to us there for a while, seeing the scores to games. But yeah. Also let's see. And Samuel also says, Curtis, if I got the money, I would tell Cal, how much more money do you need for Jordan Smith Jr. and another 5-star? Whatever he tells me, I'll give the money to him.
Yeah, I was talking about Abdou Toure and the week that he had. Jordan Smith Jr. did the same thing. He had some crazy games, and he's such a ridiculous athlete and competitor and everything. The question with him has always been, is he going to be able to make threes? He had one game where he went 7 for 9. So he's starting to figure it out too. His recruitment is definitely more open than a lot of people thought all summer. It was like, oh, most likely going to Duke, maybe Arkansas. I think Arkansas's got a real chance here to get it done. He's not going to commit until the spring. That dude's a baller. Yes, I would give him a lot of NIL money too. If you're looking to replace Darius Acuff with a freshman, this might be your guy. He's the real deal. He's only like 6'2", so he's another shorter guard. So you wonder about his NBA future and everything. He's got like a 6'8", 6'9" wingspan at that height. It's ridiculous. He's a crazy athlete. He's a hell of a lot of fun to watch. He would be very high on the list of guys I would donate to the NIL fund for sure.
All right. Well, guys, any final thoughts before we roll out of here on this uniquely fun Friday show?
Thanks for everybody for coming back and hanging out with us. Watch the Pot at the Palace in the morning because it's going to be a very recruiting, roster building centric episode. Kind of the last opportunity we have to do this until the season ends. I was like, man, we still got a few days between games. I want to put something out. So watch that. And then if you were just tuned out for the holidays, like you should have been, like the last 3 or 4 episodes of the show are evergreen. It's still relevant. It's not like if it was something that, came out on Wednesday that all of a sudden it's just, there's no point in going back. No, it's all pertinent now. So go back and check those out if you need to get caught up, and appreciate everybody for being here.
I like that. I don't know why I'm using this as my final thought, but I've been meaning to say this publicly for a while. I'm going to be starting a new thing. at the beginning of the year with the Bombastic podcast, Wednesdays are for the casuals. Every Wednesday throughout baseball season, I'm going to do a live stream where the casuals can come in. Because you know how baseball is, where some people are tapped in watching every day. Some people are casuals that are kind of, watching basketball and then they'll catch up. But I want to have a space, a safe space, because I always see people that try and casually watch softball and then they get yelled at and they're like, oh, you should know the seventh hitter that's doing this. I want to have a space where the casuals can come in and ask stupid questions, frankly, or just questions that you're like scared to, when you're in something that's so niche and everyone knows what they're talking about and you're scared to ask your question because you're like, everyone already knows this probably. I want that space to exist. So every Wednesday throughout baseball season, and we're going to start this up, I guess, in the early portion of 2026, Wednesdays are going to be for the casuals this baseball season. And I just wanted to get this on people's radars. If you yourself are a casual, don't be ashamed. Don't be scared. We have a place for you. It's going to be good every Wednesday throughout baseball season. Just get that on your radars. Mark your calendars every Wednesday forever.
What happens to the sickos that come make fun of the casuals?
See, we're going to hope that doesn't happen a ton, like I want to push back against that. Like if you come in and because you remember we had Mrs. Dansvan ask a question. She was like, what's a rescreen or something like that. Yeah. And people were like, oh, you don't know what a rescreen is, you idiot. And it's like, I don't want that. I really don't want that kind of stuff. Exactly.
Yeah, I just am laughing really hard because I am trying to envision Andrew from the chat getting asked stupid questions and him not being passive aggressive and not being a jerk about it. Like I think you can do it, but I can't wait to tune in and just like hear about, I'm just going to pop in and be like, hey, what are we talking about here? Like, you're not even making any sense. Like, you're just going to go after somebody for asking this question.
Might be part of a bigger New Year's resolution or something.
Yeah, exactly. I'm turning over a new leaf, John. This is my attempt. All right. Like, I'm going to be nice now. And honestly, though, like casual questions, I know I'm rambling here, but casual questions really don't bother me. It's the people who don't claim to be casuals who are like, I know what I'm talking about. And this is what I think. Those are the ones that make me mad, not the ones who are like, hey, forgive me, I'm a dummy, but like, what's a shortstop? You know what I mean? Like, I want to help those guys.
All right, well, there you go. So it'll be for the casuals in Wednesday. So it'll be great. But yeah, we're coming to the end of the year, folks. So it's again, unique show because we're off for the weekend. I mean, obviously Razorback basketball has another game on Monday. So we'll be back with Inside Arkansas Live, but we'll also have Pod at the Palace post-game show that Monday as well. Getting you geared up for that. And then once January 1 hits, man, it's going to be crazy with transfer portal and conference play and basketball and everything. It's going to be wild, but we appreciate everybody hanging out with us today on a unique Friday, and hopefully everybody had a Merry Christmas, and hopefully everybody has a great weekend as well. And be sure to subscribe to us here in Inside Arkansas. Check out all of our audio podcasts wherever they're found, whether it's Inside Arkansas Live, Pod at the Palace, the Bombastic Podcast, or the Inside Arkansas Recruiting Podcast with Dudley Dawson. And we're going to keep it going from there. And that'll do it for us today. For Andrew Ellis, as well as Curtis Wilkerson, intern Cameron, I'm John Neighbors. Same sports show, same sports channel next Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you then.